Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Planning Board meeting for Thursday, October 27th, 2022. Time is 7 p.m. I'll take a roll call vote for presence. Ernie, start. Since we're on remote, roll call vote or roll call.
Here.
Mike Greco here.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultz here.
You're muted.
I'm here.
Thank you. Tracy Chuck, aye. Item number 1, citizens forum, call for public comment. Anyone have anything under this item? Seeing none. A&R's Lakeshore Drive, David Kale. Is anyone presenting for this item? Do you want to flip the chair if you want, or you could stand? Either way.
You want to stand? Right.
You want to give us an update on, from the last time that you were here, and progress that you've made?
Yes, there was one spot on the road was, couldn't have any more than 10% of grade fire trucks, fire code. It was 14.72, we cut that down to 0.75. We cut that in half. And I also cut a big S-curve off, I squared it all off, so you have a 36-foot wide area, like a rest area for fire trucks. 3 fire trucks plus 2 could pass in that one area that was like 20 feet wide with ledge on each side. Took all the ledge out and all the boulders out, cut the grade down, almost, just a, beautiful decline before it gets to the last S corner that we're talking about. So basically, it was about 135 lineal feet lengthwise that we widened and blasted and
Excellent.
hydraulic split, hauling in all kinds of material down there for a good road base. So that was the only concern that anybody had. We put the Jeff Stefanik, the engineer for Gerard and Hanlon, we both decided we put the added rest area on the side. We have a fire truck turning around 300 feet away. We put 4 or 5 trucks because they're concerned about staging areas if they're hauling water in and out for water, tankers and stuff. So we widened that out where we cut the grade down. We widened all that up too, so they could park 2 or 3 trucks there and 5 up this 300 feet away. So other than that, I met all the requirements that Kelly and I went over. It's just that one little area.
All right, we
Spent a
do
lot of
have,
time down there.
yeah, we do have 3 letters in our packet from police chief,
Oh, there was one other thing.
fire chief.
John was concerned if something happened to me about the road.
Yes.
Physically on the road.
Yes.
I have 3 people on call. If they couldn't get in touch with me if there was a problem on the road. We've never, John has mentioned in the 35 years I've been down there, no one's ever called about the road. We've always took care of any drainage or whatever. But I do have, my attorneys are working on an association like Ledgestone and
Okay.
Shady Lane.
Okay.
A couple people I've been talking to, but everybody I talked to so far that own the road, the property in the road, they're willing to the center of the road, an association be set up, which I'll still be involved until the end, whether it takes 2 years, 10 years, or whatever, to maintain.
Yeah, we don't, as a courtesy, we don't want anyone to have any surprises when they purchase a property on the road.
Yeah,
But I think it's outside the scope of this A&R.
yeah, anybody, the people that are interested in lots, I haven't advertised or anything, but all know about the situation, and they're all for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a pretty good setup the way my attorney's setting it up. So,
So I appreciate the improvements.
So through the chair, so it's gonna be like a private way then? Everybody on the road is gonna,
It's a way in existence,
everybody's
yeah.
gonna have to pay to maintain it, keep it up?
Yeah, I've been paying it for now.
Yeah, for now you have, but I mean, down the road, yeah.
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 Yeah, and it- like what they did on Ledgestone, which her family's been down there for 100 years. When the kitty got, they all put $100 in a year. When the kitty got high, they
Yep.
did 200 feet of road paved. It just kept on going until it, Ernie knows it
Yeah.
came out beautiful. I mean, they
Yeah.
eventually paved the whole thing.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day, you know, about paving it, one of the owners or whatever. So,
Throw in the funds and it can be paid.
you know, down the road, maybe it'll happen, but right now,
Yeah.
I think it'll be set up fine, you know?
Yep.
So the town won't ever have a problem with it. They never did.
Yeah.
Right, so your application states that it's a way shown on a subdivision plan, but you didn't actually have your formal approved subdivision plan. You should have checked a way in existence before adoption of subdivision control with adequate width, grade, construction. So I just want to be clear that this is a way in existence. This is not a way that has been approved by this board as under subdivision control. So you checked the incorrect box, right, on your application?
Oh, baby.
Okay, I just
Fill out
want
a
to,
pipe
for the
fill, I probably
record,
did, yeah. but-
okay, for the record, we did not, this is not a subdivision. So this is not an approved subdivision from 2020.
Right, it's
Okay.
existing, right.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
might
a
have-
way in existence.
Yeah, that's me.
I just want to be clear, like, where
He does it, it's right,
I
right,
wouldn't
right.
say that this was a subdivision that we approved. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
So this doesn't look like it.
A&R.
Yes, it's, okay. So as far as the application goes, it is a way in existence.
And that should just be amended for the record?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, board, do we have any questions or comments? We have our letters from all the departments, as well as from John Furno. It sounds like you are working towards getting the association, which is what he had requested. We don't need to require that. It's not under our purview to require anything from you, other than, is it suitable with grade construction under approval not required plans? So it's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
nice
pursuing that
because
heavily, yeah.
the people that are going to live on this road.
Yeah. I'm going to keep taking care of it for a while, but, because eventually that's what the legal ends come to.
Yeah, no, that's the way you should do it.
Yep.
Board, anything?
No, through the chair, I met with Dave down there last week with John and the fire chief, and we went over all the work he's done on it. And being the guy that plows it and sands it every winter, I can say it's considerably improved.
Okay, good.
I won't be gripping the steering wheel probably as tight as I used to, so, yeah, John and I talked, and we think he's done a good job, and the road is in much better shape, and
Thank you.
Yeah, and
I'm okay with it.
I think it's very important to start off with it in good shape, because most likely it will stay that way.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
with the ledge, and then it
Oh, it's a nightmare.
continues on forever.
The rocks are the size of this table. you know.
Yes, oh, I'm sure.
Split 'em
That's
all up.
why, yeah, that's why it's stopped.
Yeah.
Mr. Greco, anything?
No questions.
I just have one comment. I know it's outside the purview of the planning board with the A&R, but I've just been looking over the correspondence from the fire department, and it's very confusing for you guys, I can assume, with the sprinklers. On September 22nd, it was because the road wasn't at grade and there was only one turnaround, they would probably recommend every house have sprinklers. The work's been done, and then the letter today is now saying because of distance and from the fire station, they would like sprinklers. So there's very confusing comments from the fire department.
Well, that's,
Process.
you know, I understand that, the comment and the theory behind it, but until there's some kind of radius, 4 miles or 5 miles, some kind of rules and regulations of a law or something set up by the fire chief, I don't, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
when people buy houses and build houses.
So it's a recommendation,
Yeah.
and the sentence before that states that they meet the requirements. Right? The fire department finds the road surface, horizontal, vertical dimensions, road grade acceptable and in compliance with applicable sections of 527 CMR 1. So under our task here tonight, we need to determine with grade construction that meets the requirements for approval not required. If there is a concern, once a building permit is submitted, then it could be addressed through that.
Yeah.
For
No, I
safety,
understand
life
that. I just wanted
safety.
it on
Yeah.
record that the correspondence that you've been receiving from the fire department is very confusing in regards to.
There was no
grade.
communication between a couple of
If I may, through the chair, just the one sentence prior to that is they're talking about a static water supply like a fire hydrant, that you're, the distance is of concern to them. That, it's still only recommended, but it isn't necessarily just the distance from the fire station, it's
Yeah.
also distance from a static water
hydrant.
source.
Yeah.
That's really more
Yeah,
than.
but at the beginning it was because of the grade.
Yeah, yeah, which has.
Turnaround, they would want them, but now they're saying other things. So I just beware that there's some confusing comments.
Yeah, I saw
People
that.
sell that and start some
I
construction.
appreciate that, I read that, and I kind of thought about it a lot, but
Again, just a recommendation.
as far as, yeah.
Ms. Schlesman, do you have anything?
I just had one question on the review by the highway department around when the homeowners association is put in place, will the town then not be responsible for it anymore?
It isn't now,
now.
never was.
No, we aren't,
Well, the town plows. Is
I can-
that,
I
I
can
guess
help.
that's what I'm asking, will that
Yeah.
stop at that time?
Mr. Marks will
yeah,
address that.
we do private roads, we've been doing that for years, as plowing and sanding. That's the limit of the work that we do on those roads. We don't do any grading or graveling or fixing any washouts or anything like that. That's on the owners. But as far as plowing and sanding, that's the extent of what the highway department in the town does for those roads.
But not all of them.
No,
And will that stop?
not all the what?
Private roads.
Well, we haven't taken on any
New.
private roads that are new.
Yeah.
Right, and we won't.
so-
These have been in existence for 100 years or whatever, and once you start doing that, you can't stop. Once you start doing maintenance, if the highway department or the town starts doing maintenance to a road, then you can't say next year, we're not doing it. Once you commit to it, you have to keep doing it. So that's the extent of what we do for private roads is
Yeah, I think this
Public
is
safety.
yeah.
plowing and sanding.
This is a discussion for another day, but this specific roadway will be sanded and plowed
Yes,
by the town.
yep.
Even if there is a homeowners association established. Because this is not like a residential compound or any cluster development type of, it's a
Sure,
way in
yeah.
existence.
Yep, no, and I was just asking based upon the language in the letter.
Yeah.
That, to keep the town from being responsible, so I didn't know if there was something in a bylaw or something that if there's a homeowners association, that they would then be responsible for plowing and sanding only, and maintenance.
If they want to take it over, that's fine with me, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay,
So for a residential compound, yes,
yes, yep, yep.
there is
but not
something in
this
there.
case.
Not in this case.
Okay.
Anything else?
No. Good luck. That's selling.
Okay, board, I will entertain a motion for endorsement.
So moved.
So,
Okay, motion made by Mr. Mark, second by Mr. Schultzberg. All those in favor?
We need roll
Let's
call?
Yeah, let's do
Roll
roll
call.
call.
I was substantially here for all the other meetings.
Yeah.
This is consistent,
Yeah.
so. Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Nudge less than 9.
Okay, thank you
good.
very much. Good
You're all
luck.
set.
Up here.
Hey, have a good evening, have a good weekend, you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 27 or 2527 Cross Street.
How you doing?
Hello, name and address, please.
My name's Steve Beck, and we have my mother's estate, had a surveyor there. We surveyed 2 lots, and that's where we're at right now. For approval.
Mr. Benoit, any issues on this application?
Madam Chair, no issues here. I got a chance to review the plan in advance before it was submitted to the board. A
Oh,
couple of minor
fabulous.
modifications were made. It's submitted, it meets all of our requirements.
Okay, board, any questions regarding this application?
They have everything.
No.
Ms. Schlesman, any comments or questions?
No, I don't believe so.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion for endorsement.
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Marks.
425 and 27 Cross Street.
Yes. Motion made by Mr. Marks.
Second.
Second by Mr. Zwicker. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Bernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Jake Schultz,
Meg Schlesman,
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Take it easy, Steve.
Now,
Yeah.
the surveyor did mention something about a Mylar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll sign it this evening and be ready to go.
So he's gonna, do I come in and pick it up? This is the first time I do so.
Either you or the engineer.
Or the engineer. Yeah, you'll be in there. Thank you, board. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good
Thank
weekend.
you.
Here, Steve.
Night. Next item, 7 PM, public hearing, Frank and Tanya Murphy, application for scenic road special permit.
No bad. Okay, thank you.
Hold on 1 second, please.
No worries.
Just try to find. In accordance with the Town of Douglas General Bylaws, Scenic Road Bylaw, Article 5, Section 5, the Douglas Planning Board will hold a public hearing on the application of Frank Murphy for a permit to clean up, remove approximately 6 feet of stone at the south side of an existing 13-foot stone wall opening. The site is in a rural agricultural zone district located at 116 Orange Street, Assessor's Map 293, Parcel 1.1. Public hearing is being held on Thursday, October 27, 2022, at 7 PM in the Resource Room, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. A copy of the application may be reviewed in the Community Development Department during regular business hours. Any person interested or wishing to be heard on the proposed plan should appear at the time and place designated. Welcome.
Thank you.
What would you like to tell us about your project?
Really just quickly, looking at the plan, right now, the 13-foot wide opening is rather tight on the site. I've got some folks out there working and trying to get a truck on the site right now because Orange Street is so narrow, they have to do about a 30-point turn just to get in. So what we want to do is, on the south side, take off 6 feet of the existing wall. The north side, the grade ramps up pretty quickly, so I would ideally like to split it both sides, but I need to move to the south side. Anything that we remove from the wall, what we're going to do with it is the red circle that's on the plan. We want to take that stone, that red circle is a tree stump that was cut by either National Grid or the town before we took possession of the property. We want to remove that stump, repair the wall. There is a gap in the wall at the backside of that, and we want to use the stone that we're removing from the wall and move it up there to repair that portion of the wall.
And your reason is the existing 13-foot wide opening is just too small?
It's just too narrow.
So what are we going to?
We're going to 19 feet wide,
He's having the 6 feet.
taking 6 feet out of the south side.
It's a pull and patch, I guess, where the gap is.
So you're making it up on the other side? Where that stump is.
Where the stump is, right now, there's a gap in the wall there. I want to remove that stump.
You're gonna
repair
remove the
wall
stump?
Yeah, after the
Okay.
stump comes out, remove the stump, repair the wall, and use any of the stone we're taking off the south side to fill in the gap that's presently there.
Okay. Mr. Benoit, anything on this?
Madam Chair, I do not have any comments here other than recommendations for standard conditions, any stones removed be put back into the walls.
And that's what you are
That's
going
what I
to?
intend to do.
Okay. Did you leave your application blank on the section 3 or section 8, 7?
Which is,
Statement of purpose, yes or no? Or did you just not check them off?
maybe I didn't check.
Okay. Alright. List of owners, you got the butters, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Madam
Butters
Chair,
were all
Yes.
notified.
on the plan submitted, that's kind of color coordinated, there's some written descriptions with arrows. We use that as kind of a statement of purpose.
Okay. Just nothing's checked under 7, section 7. Okay.
I-
Board,
I have
any
a-
questions?
I
Yes.
have one to the chair.
Yes.
On the picture with the tree, it says tree removed from National Grid.
It's there, that's from Google Maps.
Okay.
I didn't have the tree was removed prior to us taking
Okay.
possession of the property.
So that tree that's there is not there?
Is not there any longer, yeah. If you look, there's a picture, actually,
That's fine. No, that's fine, I understand now. It's just kind of, you're saying it's
No.
removed,
But it's
but it's still
there.
standing.
yeah.
Yeah, putting the stones back into the wall is a good policy, so.
Oh. Yeah.
Through the chair, this is the lot, you're more down towards the Rhode Island line, right?
Chew up from the Rhode Island line, across from the log cabin.
Did you just acquire this lot?
We acquired it, no, it's been a year and a half now,
Yeah.
April of '21.
Yeah, because I know when I was out there grading a while back that I noticed the wall in the driveway or the entrance was pushed in and opened up. And I stopped and asked who was ever there doing the work if they had obtained a scenic bylaw permit, because I never remembered them coming into the board for one.
Yeah, so we had started clearing the property.
Yeah, you'd already started clearing it.
And when
before
I
you came
put
in.
we hadn't moved anything off the wall, the opening that was there, when I came to file for my building permit, I was told that it was a scenic
Yeah, okay.
road. Looking on, I've done work in some other town, looking on any of the maps that I was looking at for the town, it's actually not noted as a scenic road.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I submitted my building permit application that.
It's
Jen
listed
notified
as
me.
a scenic road and on our town road. But,
The road list.
yeah.
Okay, so you didn't move any rocks.
We did not remove anything from the wall.
The left side doesn't really look like it's a wall at all.
If you're standing on the street looking to the left.
Yeah.
The grade there really pushes up. It gains 6 feet over about 10 feet.
Just
So,
looks like
yeah.
it's a pile of rocks
yeah.
that really just was they were in the way. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually, and that side right now, even up where that stump is, doesn't look like a wall until you get past that stump, and then you can clearly see the wall.
Okay.
And on the right side, the wall is clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not much of a wall, but there is a
No,
wall.
there is a wall there. No, and then
There
that's,
is a
I mean,
wall
that's
there.
part of why we want to move out this way, is
Yeah.
to
Have walls.
have walls,
Stone walls.
have land.
It's fun in the beginning.
I'm an architect, I do it for a living, so
You're ready for it.
I'm ready for it, absolutely.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Ms. Schlesman, do you have anything?
I do not.
Board?
No, stop.
Makes sense why it's being done.
Yeah.
Okay. At your pleasure, I will entertain a motion to grant, to close.
Motion to close?
Second.
Want to close the public hearing first?
Yeah. Motion made by Mr. Schultzberg. Should I get a second over here? Second by Mr. Sokrat. All those in favor?
Aye.
If I could do a roll call.
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
And I'll entertain a motion to grant the permit.
Move to endorse the application for scenic road permit SR 220928 for 116 Orange.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Mr. Mr. Schultzberg, second by Mr.
By Jake.
Sokrat. I almost married you guys. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much. Sorry about that. Next item, 7 PM public hearing, 7:26. Yes?
I'm gonna send a little nudge over to town council. I've never met him in person, I'm sorry. I've never
Yes,
met him in person.
nudge him,
I apologize.
nudge him.
Okay. That's fine. Sorry.
That's okay, that's all right, no problem. 7 PM public hearing, Masula,
I go by Melissa.
Melissa.
Yes, that's me.
Sonoas,
Chanos.
Chanos? Chanos, okay. Application for accessory apartment special permit, 156 U Street. Let me just read this. In accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Town of Douglas Accessory Apartment Zoning Bylaw, Section 3.3, 9.3, the Douglas Planning Board is holding a public hearing on the application for Mashula Sononos
That's fine.
regarding an accessory apartment special permit. The property location is 156 U Street, Assessors Map 222, Parcel 43, Douglas, Mass. Public hearing is being held on Thursday, October 27th at 7:15 PM in the Douglas Municipal Center, Resource Room, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. Visit www.douglas-ma.gov for the agenda and Zoom information. A copy of the application is available for review during regular business hours in the Douglas Community Development Department, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Welcome, and if you would like to tell us about your project.
Hi,
Hi.
my name's Art Poison from Work of Art Builders. I'm a contractor that's doing the job.
Okay, great.
I also have a larger
And what is your address? Your address?
690
For the record?
West Hartford Ave,
Thank you.
Uxbridge.
And it's an in-law for my mother, so that's
And
the purpose of it.
Your name and address?
My
For the
name?
record, yes.
Mashula Tisonos, and the address is 156 U Street, Douglas.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Benoit, any comments?
I'll pull something up on the screen that doesn't appear to have made it into my packet, so I'm going to assume that it's not in yours.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the subject I'm interested in. I operate look on the screen, you'll see the red shows where the proposed one-bedroom addition is. It's not on the plan that's in my packet, I hope you can get it.
Okay.
It's hard to identify exactly where this was, to make sure it was inside the setbacks, despite the application and all the data we received. So for visual aid, it's up on the screen.
It is in our packet. also.
Okay.
So you're upgrading your existing septic from a 3-bed to a 4-bedroom? That's part of the plan?
They said I just had to expand the leach field, so, yes.
Okay.
We're dealing with civil site engineering. Margaret.
Okay. I'm assuming that she's prepared the plan for the upgrade and has it stamped. And do you know if it's been approved?
A verbal blessing, yes.
Verbal approval?
Well,
Okay. With the Board of Health?
Yes, everything's covered with that.
Okay.
Everything we're allowed to do, we just got to go through this process, the building permit process.
Okay.
Through the chair,
Yes.
you're not adding another power source, are you?
No,
Going off the houses?
yes. Yep.
Well, so you're gonna have a
sub panel. We'll put a sub panel
Okay.
For this particular.
Not separately metered.
Right,
No,
that's
no
what, well, I know,
separate.
that's what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah. You want a sub-panels, fine?
They can figure out who pays the electric bill.
Mom, right?
Well, that works. Nice.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Seeing none. Okay, board, questions? 708 is the addition.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion made by Mr. Marks,
So moved. Second.
second by Mr. Zwicker. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultz.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Motion to grant the accessory apartment special permit.
I'll make a motion that we grant the special permit for accessory apartment at 156 U Street.
Second,
Motion made by Mr. Marks, second by Mr. Sokrat. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultz.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Good luck.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Have a good evening.
Good luck.
Good luck. Next item. 7:20 PM public hearing, continues zoning modifications to Douglas zoning bylaws. Removal of section 6.1 earth removal, 7:32 PM. If we can invite town council. up. So I think we had, it was a little bit confusing.
Good to see you. Been a long time since COVID, right? Been in person.
I was here with the ZBA a little bit ago.
Oh, yeah, CBA.
Yeah, a couple of months back. But, yeah.
Thank you for joining us. So we left off, there was a little bit of confusion between eliminating it from our zoning bylaws, adding it to the general. So I think the board is looking for the reasoning, for enforcement, for any consequences to moving it into the general bylaw.
So no consequences. I mean, how you structure it is how you structure it. I saw that there was some comments on who should do it. Whatever's best for the town, planning board, select board, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of general bylaw, earth removal bylaws that are still run by the planning board. So earth removal stands in a really unique position. So it can be a zoning bylaw because it is a land use, or it could be a general bylaw. But there's a unique provision in chapter 40 that says, even though it regulates land use, it can be done as a general bylaw. And the reason we want to see it, or we like to see it as a general bylaw, the primary reason is no grandfathering. So it's a general bylaw, so it's not a zoning bylaw, so there's no vested rights in it. Unlike zoning, where there's some pre-existing one that is on the books, and I don't know if there is or isn't, or even some activity, then it is regulable without that kind of grandfather. So it would have to go to a general bylaw. So that's important.
So we should know how many grandfathered sites we have in Douglas at this moment.
It wouldn't hurt to have that information. But then on a go-forward basis, the key to that is that I don't think this means that they would be illegal unless you make it illegal. It just means that they're permitting. You would set up an annual permitting process, an annual license process. It would also create a different standard, one that would be more municipal friendly to the expansion of a pre-existing non-conforming. So it can be more helpful. Enforcement's a little bit easier because zoning enforcement, there's multiple steps. building commissioner issues something, then there's an appeal to the zoning board, and then it goes to the courts. Not that it's all together that difficult, we generally get the benefit of the doubt on enforcement. Here, if it's under the police power, the general bylaws, and someone violates a license or a permit, then generally we say revoked, or stop it, or do this, or don't do that. They don't comply, we go straight to court. So it's quicker, and it's a little bit easier to manage.
But under the enforcement, so for zoning, it almost gives the person the opportunity to remedy it before the court, which is more costly, don't you think? Versus a shortcut way, you're saying the general bylaw is immediately, you don't do what we say you're doing, you're going to court, versus, maybe we work out an agreement or an understanding before it's enforcement, and you say, nope, don't do that, come to planning board, get your permit, and like as a service to the people that, and I don't know how many grandfathered, this is really gonna be only
Yeah, so if you
concerning those people.
it depends how you want to approach earth removal. Like, certainly large-scale earth removal. And this is also perspective, too, because earth removal isn't just gravel mining operations. It could be somewhat related to other uses. But if you put it all in the general, it's an additional stop. It really depends how you view the use of earth removal. If you're concerned about earth removal going forward, and you want to ensure the town is always in the driver's seat about this as developable land starts to dwindle, then I think you're going to want to consider putting it in the general bylaw. You don't have to. If, on the other hand, you feel that you want to ensure the rights of those, or maximize the rights of those who are seeking earth removal, whether through development means or operation of a standalone earth removal operation, then maybe keep it in zoning to a certain degree. Now, the level of authority that the permitting board has is the same in both. You don't lose any power or gain any power. It all depends on how you structure the bylaw. The discretion that board gets is the same in both. So it really amounts to the ability of the town to control grandfathering, and for the town to have the ability to more quickly enforce earth removal that kind of goes awry. So it can be nuanced. We just generally, I generally favor that if you could stick anything in a general bylaw rather than a zoning bylaw, then do it. Just for I'm a municipal guy, so making sure that the town has the most control and the most authority and the quickest route to a solution. So that's why general bylaws can move a little more nimbly.
Okay.
Through the chair, I have a couple questions. Why is this coming all about now? Is what I want to know.
So I don't know if it was me or not. I probably make the comment whenever there's, I think I probably made the comment probably 10 times, maybe in the last 10 years that I've been representing the town. Whenever tweaks to the earth removal, or we get a particularly vexing application, I say, we got to move this. We got to move this. This is the wrong spot for this. We want to control this. Someone's, not doing what we like. Think about moving it. So maybe after 10 years of me kind of berating Bill and now berating Matt, and maybe it's finally come around.
Well, I think it was triggered because of the 300 cubic.
Well, if I can, through the chair, how many times have we had issues with earth removal in this board?
Not a lot. I don't
Seriously.
think, I think one time, maybe.
Okay, I'll say maybe two. Let's go
Yeah.
2 times. I've been here almost
In
15
10 years, yeah.
We've had maybe 2 issues. Is it an issue, or is it that we ourselves need to look at this and maybe fix 1 or 2 things and leave it the way it is? That's what I'm trying to get at. Are we throwing a monkey wrench at something because of 1 incident? It's like the world's coming apart and we need to do everything here? Or is it Is it being hasty doing that, or should we just look at this completely? This just came about in 2 weeks, really, at our last meeting. Here we are, town meeting coming up, this is thrown in front of us right now. Couple weeks before the town meeting is like, figure it out. This should have been done maybe 6, 7 months ago and brought up and said, hey, should we go through this? If there's a real issue, then maybe yes, let's move it or do whatever. Or is it we have a sentence wrong in this whole thing and that's all we need to fix?
I mean, there have been issues certainly with the language itself and the interpretation of some things. You have a somewhat unique set of regulations.
Right,
Nothing-
incidental, yeah.
So,
So I think the other issue that you raised was the fill, such as urban fill. And I'm not seeing, so you said there's issues with filling in towns, but we're just earth removal. So why wasn't that incorporated into earth moving, some sort of earth moving bylaw for protecting? So if we're moving it, might as well move it with the complete concern. And then public hearing, it's going to the selectmen, the select board.
well, that's a policy question. I would leave
Yeah.
that to you and the select board.
And, okay,
This area, the reason I threw in earth fill is because of those cases that we had in Uxbridge, where
Yes.
we were able to get the judgment eventually at an appellate level that it's a separate use. And we know that in the Blackstone Valley and in Central Mass, that's kind of like earth importation central. And there have been some problems with it. And we know it's treated now as a separate use. So I think it's important, under the law, it cannot be characterized as earth removal.
but you didn't incorporate it into this
I did
new
not.
general bylaw proposal, even though you said 10 times, you mentioned it to move it from zoning to
That earth
general.
removal, the earth importation, I made a suggestion that we should think about a bylaw.
Okay.
You know, as you know, Tracy, I do what I'm told
encompassing.
to do. And I would be happy to draft a earth importation. We've done it in a few towns now.
Yeah.
We did it over in Uxbridge.
Well, I think it's important, yeah, I think,
It is really-
especially with the pits that are open.
And
let's
we've already
just
done
say.
one. If I come to the children,
Yeah,
we've already
the
had one in
update.
town that,
Site remediation.
right, we tried to make it. right.
Technically, in this town, if it's not expressly permitted under your zoning bylaws, it's already prohibited.
Prohibited.
So to the extent you want additional controls on it, then you may want to flesh that out a little bit more in your zoning bylaws. Now, we feel that earth importation as an overall use of property does not get the benefit of that section in chapter 40 that I mentioned where you can do it in a general bylaw. So that probably belongs in the zoning bylaws, but also a lot of boards of health are passing earth importation
I think that's,
regulations.
I would prefer it.
Yeah.
I would prefer, we had that discussion on the verbiage of the last.
Right.
It's part of the reason
Earth,
we didn't have Phil ready.
the fill importation and who is going to be monitoring that,
If I can,
like an
through the chair,
LSP.
I think on the last one, we had it where we had to know the source it was coming from and everything else before it could be brought in, because I brought up the question and threw them by surprise and said, are you bringing in liquid fill? And they said, yeah. It was like, nobody thought of it, but they were actually bringing in liquid fill, which is allowed, but they weren't forthcoming saying it.
I think there's a state law too, right?
So the state law is a little bit different.
For
So
monitoring.
reclamation, which is importation of materials,
Right.
is regulated by the DEP, but not robustly. It's regulated a little bit, and so what they've done is develop a policy where if you want to do that on a commercial basis, whether it's part of something or it's a standalone operation, or it's used to fill in a giant hole rather than just kind of restore a giant hole, then what you're supposed to get is an administrative consent order from the DEP. A lot of operators don't do it, and DEP hasn't really been that awesome about enforcing. So again, I don't want to it's not just happening in Uxbridge, but it was very prevalent in Uxbridge. And that's just one form of regulation. If you really want to, if you're concerned that someone is either bringing in dirty fill or the grades aren't good or whatever it is, then I think it should be captured locally under your zoning bylaws potentially, under your Board of Health regulations potentially, however you want to do it. You could do it under either. You can do some things under zoning that you can't do under health. You can do some things under health you can't do under zoning. But if someone has that kind of operation now or wants to do it in the future and you don't say anything, it's prohibited. So, which may not be a bad thing, but if in some circumstances you could envision some existing gravel pits that it might be a good idea to import, or if it was a construction site, then it might be good to import some things to level it out, to do things. Some people do agriculture, further agricultural reclamation of properties. They level it out, they build playing fields, whatever it is, then you may want to contemplate some level of local regulation under zoning or Board of Health.
Okay.
Whether you could want to do it as a package with earth removal, they seem like they go together. There are actually some significant differences, but up to you.
Okay. So this Article 12 is already on the warrant, correct? So this is already proposed in our warrant in front of the townspeople as written in this document, and we already have Article 11. It's before, the deletion is before, correct? Okay.
Through the chair. Can I ask, how did it get on the warrant without coming to us first for our recommendation?
I
You selected to
don't
put
think
it on the
the
warrant?
general bylaw doesn't need to. Correct. I'm sorry.
Right, well, even a zoning bylaw doesn't need to go through you before it goes on the warrant. It can't be acted upon without you holding a hearing on the zoning bylaw or zoning amendment.
Right, but
But the select board are going to control the warrant. Yes, sir.
we are earth removal. It's our,
Right, obviously,
I mean,
it certainly makes a lot of sense.
certainly
that if
think we
the-
should have had an
that if the
opportunity.
If the select board wants to move in that direction, I would probably work hand in glove.
It was a courtesy to,
Yeah,
we're
would've been
the
a courtesy.
jurisdictional board that grants the earth removal, so why wouldn't we be made aware of the change that was, forthcoming?
Right.
That was in somebody's mind to
Right.
change, to move it, to delete it and add it.
So procedural through the chair, just good. So if we don't support these articles, right now, it all kind of just didn't happen. And then I like the idea potentially of having the dual under zoning of the removal and the fill. It seems like, would that be, I mean, if we're going to do it, let's take time and get it done right and have you to help us craft this under a zoning regulation, bylaw. So, is that not, okay, good.
Well, if I may, through the chair, I think, and I agree with you, I know it's been talked about over the years, but the idea is, we've never had anything presented to us saying, what is wrong with this bylaw? We've always been said, well, there's issues here and issues there, but what specifically is wrong with Article 12? It can't just be everything, or is it?
There's certainly been some fights that have come before you.
Yes.
It's an ambiguity, and it's the discretion of the enforcement officer at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with this board and, more Bill previously on interpreting certain provisions and setbacks, and we've always worked through them. So I think at a certain level, it's worked. The issue of moving it from zoning to general is a different thing altogether.
We've already changed this once. You
But,
do
I mean-
remember, we already revised the earth removal bylaw like 4 years ago.
Right, but what I'm
That
getting at through the
incidental to
chair is,
building
if it needs another look at and another slight revision, can that be,
It's
we
the
do
more,
that?
it's the more than 300 cubic yards of soil, gravel, stones, other minerals. So that is the triggering issue, where somebody is developing a single-family house lot and they remove material, they are triggering it.
correct. But, and I know that's why this is all coming about.
And it's a
but the
policing issue. Yeah.
It's, if I can, I mean,
That is the
you
problem.
can buy a
We can
house
do that.
lot or a building lot on the side of a mountain, dig it out, put up a wall and build your building. I mean, that's what's done, you see it done every single day, everywhere. And is that what the big issue is here, or what's the whole
I
deal
think that's
here?
where, well, Mr. Benoit had stated previously, that's where we started with the building inspector, and that's where this kind of, they were looking at.
Correct.
I believe the number of the cubic yards was the issue, and you could go to a single-family house site that's being developed and see unsuitable material being hauled out. So do you count that? And then the other person is taking out, 10,000 yards of gravel, so versus the single-family house person is 2,000 yards. Are you going to enforce it? Are you going to make them do an earth removal? That's where, I think that's where the sticky part was, and
Right,
incidental to approved building
If I came
purposes
through the
was the
chair,
other.
this is what I don't like, is I think the shenanigans where, okay, we had an issue. Okay, let's just take this from the planning board and give it to the selectmen. Instead of letting the
That's my
planning board
feeling.
here
That's my feeling.
work it out, and let's figure this out and make it right. Because I think right now, that's what was being done.
We're earth removal. If there's a problem, then it should come to us, and we work it out.
So maybe the change then is, to the extent that anyone thinks it's a good idea in general, then it stay with the planning board.
Yeah.
Right, so that would be my recommendation, if we could make a motion on the
In the
floor.
overwhelming majority of towns, it stays with the planning board.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure, you recommended it to go to general, how did it get recommended to be select board for the public hearing?
And like you said, it's.
Okay, Mr. Benoit?
I'm sorry, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Benoit?
It's one or the other.
When this was originally submitted to the select board, they are the governing authority of general bylaw. So I went to 2 different meetings for them, and I asked, who is the permit granting authority going to be? Would you like it to be the planning board, would you like it to be the select board? 2 occasions did not get responses to that, so it stayed as written as select board, because it's a general bylaw. I anticipated a possible change to that, and I would also anticipate this evening, that this board wants to continue to govern that you make the recommendation for it to be changed to the governing authority of the planning board.
Well, not changed, but remain.
Well,
Right.
well,
But as
change.
it's presented in the warrant, it says select board.
Yeah,
So
but
you'd
by
be
virtue
promoting the modification.
of not supporting or withdrawing the
It will
presentation.
have to be a change on the
Pass
floor.
over it.
Correct.
It's already on the warrant. You have to vote to
Yeah,
pass
but I mean,
over.
if we,
Could be in the main motion.
Okay. So,
And through the chair, and I agree, I'm not going to disagree with, at all with what you're saying, where, hey, we need to change maybe a few sentences or add something to this, but let's do it like we've always done, at least as long as I've been on this board. We'll hash it out over the summer, or over the winter, or whatever, each meeting, go over this paragraph by paragraph, with hopefully the assistance of yourself, and figure it out, okay, yeah, this is all good, but we need to maybe add this, or we need to remove this, and then bring that back in front of the town and have them make a vote on the change. I mean, I think that's the fair way.
I just think it's a service to anyone that wants to develop in Douglas, that they come to one board and it has a consistency. And, I mean, if anyone's developing, it's triggering earth removal, site plan review, it all kind of goes together so that we can serve the person the best that we can. I don't know, preparing an amendment on the floor, I would say replace select with planning.
Through the chair, I don't want it amended. I want it passed over, and I want us to handle it. That's my feeling.
Okay.
right, I agree.
I agree. I agree with Ernie on that. Pass it over.
You know, we're not an appointed board. We're an elected board. We're elected by the people in Douglas to do this job. And taking it away, trying to say that it should be passed on to another board without even consulting with us about, it's already on the warrant, and I didn't even know it was going on.
Me neither.
That's not the way business should be done.
No-brainer.
It's not what I feel I was elected to put up with if this is what's going to happen. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, and I haven't had enough time to interpret this completely. But if you're gonna make changes to bylaws that, or zoning laws that a board has been elected to do, then there should be some talk about that before it gets put on the warrant.
And from what I'm understanding, this is really only affecting the grandfathered sites in Douglas at this moment.
Yes, well, I mean,
Moving it out of zoning, so the 40A.
in all
and the-
future stuff, it would, obviously go through a general.
But we've been permitting and keeping track of our earth removal and extensions, and so I think we have a good handle on the activity in town.
Yeah, but, so it's not just grandfathering of what's current, it's future that you have, would be putting people on an annual license.
Oh, Jesus.
So,
But we have them on a 3-year license.
okay, well, it doesn't have to be.
Up to, we could, the special permit, it's, right, it's under special
You could
permit, so.
make it a renewal,
You could, yeah.
but it's easy, you can't, it's harder to take something away under zoning.
Of course, but that's also part of why you put it in zoning, to give people the opportunity.
It certainly-
I would be curious to see who are we talking about here? Like grandfathering and giving them the opportunity to continue their operation without a permit. I don't know how many, 2 people, 3 people, 2 people. So we have 2 sites in the town of Douglas that this would be effectively negatively affecting, right? And then everyone else, we have a pretty good handle. If they misbehave, we're keeping track. We've got bonding, we've got and then eventually those other ones are gonna cease operation.
So, through the chair, if I may, I'm supporting what you're thought. Well, I think we have sort of consensus going on here, and we could just go around and around and around on this, and I think the consensus I'm hearing is that this board would like to continue to have responsibility for this. We can then modify it for town meeting under us. Have this withdrawn or overpassed at town meeting, be done with that, we get back to square one, and then we have time to massage this and maybe even add in the fill part or whatever, but is that what we're talking about?
It's
Instead of just
a
talking about the same
policy
thing.
question for you all, but that sounds like, following Ernie's lead, that, tinkering at town meeting is kind of a death sentence for bylaws
Absolutely,
anyway.
yeah.
So it could be cleaner to ask the select board to pass it over.
Right.
And pick it up maybe in the spring and maybe,
Give us time to think about it.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Reset it, let's reset it.
Considering we
so
haven't
the
heard any
motion there
imminent
generally is to
Yeah.
kind of refer for further study on town meeting floor.
from planning board.
So yeah, refer for further study by the planning board. And that's the same as passing over or definitely postponing, but it has a nicer feel to it. It makes
It
it
does.
seem like
I
people are
agree.
working together.
Would that be our official motion?
That's up to you,
Recommendation
Tracy.
to the
but
planning board,
I think
to the select.
in
I
that,
agree with
in that
that.
you all are thinking about, hey, let's put some thought into it, that would be the most fitting motion to make. That's the moderator in me speaking, so.
And after I have a chance to interpret this, and maybe I would be in favor of giving it to the selectmen, but I don't know at this point, and I don't like the way or the idea that
This came down.
all of a sudden, boom, this is happening, and
Yep.
we haven't had a chance to have our say about it.
If I can, to the chairman, we've discussed about other things months ago, we still haven't discussed, and here we are, this is thrown in front of us at last meeting. So it's kind of like, okay, well, why is this all of a sudden such an urgent deal? It hasn't been urgent for the last 14 years.
We're not sure.
I'm just saying, so it's one of those deals where.
We
let's
can't
take
blame
the-
it on Attorney Town.
Let's take
I
the
don't think
time,
he's
let's
only
take the time
mentioned it
and
10
figure
times.
this out amongst us and have a good discussion about it and awesome legal input, and then straighten it out.
How do we do this?
I just have a question.
Sure.
Is it an issue if 11 passes and 12 doesn't, or?
It is.
Yes, it is.
Is there?
And you've got competing bylaws.
and there's different quantums of vote for each, so. So you want, that the select board should also want to have them be dealt with together and not create that kind of chaos.
We should have the wording on both of them.
Yes,
Refer for future consideration.
Both 11 and 12.
Yes,
yeah.
from the planning board.
Yeah, so the motion, and Rich Bowen and the moderator can deal with that, would be to refer for further study by the planning board to be considered at a subsequent town meeting, something like that.
But our recommendation, so our vote tonight should be to the Board of Selectmen to,
Yeah, I mean, I think you should put some meat on the bone there too with it, but you should state why you're doing it in your recommendation. But I think you should say that this isn't ready, we recommend that it be referred for further study at town meeting.
And that's what we say to
Both articles.
This goes to selectmen on both articles.
Yeah.
That way it gets
Right, and then, I would hope that it doesn't always happen that between Matt and the town administrator, someone will say, is this appropriate, or maybe they'll talk to Rich Bowen about it, but hopefully we close the loop all the way around. I don't get too involved in your town meeting, or I haven't in recent years.
Right.
but-
yeah, and we don't need a motion on the general bylaw either. So we don't need any
You
motion.
don't, but I still think it would be a good idea for you to recommend to the select board that they be referred for further study in tandem. The fact that you have no official role in that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you shouldn't make a recommendation.
Okay. Ms. Schlesman? Any comments?
No, the only thing that I was going to say is, I feel like as the newest member of the board, I don't really understand the risk in it being in either place, either selectmen or the planning board, so I would just agree that more time is needed to be able to review and, solidify solidify my understanding at least as to where the risk lies and what we're trying to do by either agreeing to move it or keep it there. So that's my only comment.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there's much of a risk. It's more enforcement and efficiency of processing, my opinion. And it's always been here. It's always been in the zoning bylaw, so it's a little tough for people to handle the change and what the implications are going to be for that change.
through the chair, what's at hand? Let's get this to selectmen
Okay.
and see if we
So-
can, that's it. If that's what we
Anyone in
all-
the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this public hearing? I'll entertain a motion to close it.
Move to close.
Second.
Did I hear something?
I was
Mr.
going to
Bennett?
add something just for the...
Sure.
Just so we're aware of, Tuesday night, the FinCom was also down the middle on this. So it's not like one entity is leaning one way or the other, so I think the board's consistent with what they've discussed the other two.
Okay, thank you. Motion made by Mr. Schultzberg, seconded by Mr. Sokrat. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
I'm sorry, I missed what the motion was.
To close the public hearing.
Okay. Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you. So our recommendation to the Board of Selectmen to,
Refer Article 11 and Article 12 for further study
Yes, through the,
In
of the
tandem.
planning board.
in tandem and research the bill.
okay,
Not yet, not yet.
All right,
Just-
we're gonna-
just- yeah, just the,
I want to get back to
the removal of section 6.1 here. So,
May
move-
I read out loud? Mr.
Yes.
Rowan said it was refer for further study by the planning board to be considered at a future town meeting.
motion made by Mr. Schultzberg,
Second that.
seconded by Mr. Zwicker. All those in
Aaron
favor?
Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye. Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
hopefully-
in. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, same here. Hopefully in the near future, be in contact with you and work on it a little bit.
Whatever you all need.
Hey, Rich.
Good answer.
Appreciate it. Good to see you, too.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Chair.
additional business,
happening without-
2023 meeting schedule.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
caught something kind of tail end of the day today.
yes,
If you would mind just an open discussion under miscellaneous,
sure,
if that's okay.
yes.
So, I'll share my screen here.
Talk about the common driveway?
No, this is,
Just trees,
yeah. So,
island of trees.
yes, so, let me make sure I'm looking at this, all right? So, on the CRG site, where they're clearing the trees now,
Yes,
Where?
their limit of work, I'm going to show you the entrance up in Northeast Main Street, just kind of zoom in here. On Northeast Main, where the existing driveway is actually in Uxbridge, our approved plan shows the driveway being exclusively in Douglas, so they cleared out a patch of trees right here. But what was left over is this.
Yeah.
And just a handful of photos just kind of showing that there's just this narrow patch of trees that doesn't have a lot of undergrowth underneath it. These are thin pines or spruce.
do you have the location on a plan?
I didn't have the
This is
plan
where-
ready for tonight. I just kind of
This
pulled
is
the
right by
aerial.
McIntyre's on North.
That aerial
Okay.
shows it.
Yeah,
You're right
it's
there.
like right here.
Did somebody say to do that? Did Concom?
Yeah, so what happened is, this was outside of CRG scope of work. Now typically a developer, in most cases, would take the trees down, ask questions later, but see, and the property owner here of this kind of logging operation,
Yeah.
Ray Matthew, approached us with these photos, said, hey, this is dangerous. You just took the whole root structure out of underneath these trees. They're tall. And they're really tall, and they're gonna come down with some strong winds. So I guess what I'm asking the board this evening, and I'm not looking for an official determination, but more just to collect your opinions, I guess. If CRG were to come forward at a future meeting to show these trees gone, or to revise a landscape plan perhaps to show some different plantings, would the board want a full filing, or would you consider a modified landscaping plan to be submitted later?
Yeah,
Modified.
minor modifications.
I just
the
wanted to
approved
pull the
plan.
board and kind of get your opinions on this, because in this case, we have both the developer who hasn't made a
Yeah.
decision on it yet, but the abutting landowner who's okay with it. And it would have been their buffer, but they want them gone.
I don't even recall requiring the buffer
Right.
here.
No,
We didn't.
that-
I don't know, maybe there's a mistake.
there isn't any buffer that I know of, but it's the access road, the emergency access road that's going in with them.
Correct.
So where they took down the trees is where that access road's going in, I believe.
Sounds like a beautiful harbor.
But they left the other trees there instead of taking everything down. But I don't think,
Maybe it might have been a mistake on the flagging
yeah,
or
I rode
something.
by today, and
Trees.
it's scary looking, because it's not that big, huge growth now where everything's protecting each other. They could even actually come down into the roadway if they blow it
I know
away.
there's heavy winds tonight,
We
right?
also did shallow rooting.
Okay, yeah, no,
I have
I
no
would
problem
just,
with
I
wipe the
would
rest of it out.
probably suggest a request, and we could have maybe Mr. Benoit authorize the minor plan modification.
I would recommend to get those
I could-
down,
I could do a vote,
to clean that up,
we could actually
and then
call,
work on a landscape plan, maybe in the future, they want to put some arborvitae's or something like that. If
A
the neighbor's
suitable-
looking for
yeah.
a breaker or, windbreak or something, worry about it maybe down the road.
We could ask them to submit a mod
Yeah.
of a landscape plan recently, or we could ask them to just incorporate the changes into their as-built plan. It seems, when you're looking at the bigger picture of this entire project, this is such a small.
Oh, yeah, this is minuscule.
Yeah,
That's fine.
yeah.
so I think we
Tell them to
could,
take them down.
I think I could call for a vote to authorize the removal as a minor, consider it as a minor modification to the approved plan, and our agent, Mr. Benoit, can
Yep.
authorize
Would
that.
support.
But have some response from the developer on what their final game plan is there.
I don't even know if it's required.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was required there.
Well, there
As
should have
part
been
of our
something, there should have been
permitting
something on the
process.
permit, there was something on that entrance road going in.
These are outside of the scope of what the permit that we granted.
Right, the point.
They took down what they could, but now that's what's left.
We have
They-
a standard
they just-
condition set, need to be future modifications to the plan need to come back, so.
I think they just,
it's really just that.
right, they're crossing the Ts and dotting the Is to make sure it's okay with us if they take the rest of it down. If it's
As long as
their
it's okay
land, go
with
ahead and
that.
take it down.
There's no nests up there.
We have it here in writing.
As long as it's okay with the abutter.
If the planning board permits
The
the
abutter
removal of
wants it
these
down.
remaining
Yeah.
trees, I would support their decision to in fact do so
Yes.
Yep,
in writing.
so moved.
Motion made by Mr. Marks to
Second.
consider the tree removal in this picture as a minor plan modification. And our agent will
Notify.
sign off on that change. Mr. Marks made the motion,
I second it.
seconded by Mr. Zwicker. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye?
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Jake Schultz.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, member of the board. Yeah, last minute, but it seems
It's all right.
important.
Yeah,
it is.
especially, I
before
think
the
there was a
town has
Get a
little
good
them
winter
up,
storm,
thing
we'll be cleaning them up
happening,
in the road.
Through there, and I didn't notice.
and winter is coming. Okay, additional business 2023 meeting schedule.
Are we on Thursdays or Wednesdays?
I talked to the town administrator, Tuesdays is straight out.
No, sorry, Wednesdays or Thursdays?
The Wednesday, operationally, we run into a little issue with community development because of Monday holidays. Posting agendas in time with the holiday, plus the summer, we're off Fridays, you end up posting your agendas Thursday. It's mixing a snow day, however you want to do it. Wednesday makes it kind of complicated given how many holidays are on Monday. So it's kind of an operational issue just from my perspective. I wouldn't recommend Wednesdays, but that's just my opinion. It's completely up to the board. There wasn't a whole lot of conflict on the Wednesdays for regulatory boards, so it seems like we could try it, but my opinion would be to not pursue Wednesdays. That's just my opinion.
And if I may, last time we met, weren't we going to look at an agenda for a Wednesday and a Thursday and compare the dates and everything?
Given my opinion on it, I opted not to provide that, and I just wanted to see what the board thought, given my opinion.
I mean, we used to have meetings on Tuesdays. You talk about short weeks. I mean, we used to do Tuesdays. So,
Either way, I don't care.
I mean, I can go either way either, too. It's,
I don't think you can do Tuesdays now.
No, we can't.
Selectmen are doing it.
The other option is to try to get that request in June, try to convince the FinCom to move.
Well, they moved us. Well, I mean,
Exactly.
let's
got
go
bumped
back
right
in
there.
Try to get rid
time.
of the
Like,
punch,
we don't
yeah.
need, we shouldn't have convinced anybody of anything.
Mike, you say you've got a problem on Wednesdays for some reason.
Yeah, it's a bad day for me, but that's just me. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Well, if you can't make Wednesdays, it's a bad day for us. You know what I mean? We can't not have you. To get someone else in here? I don't care either way.
So I guess what I'm hearing
You have a
is
problem
we're
with
gonna
Fine with
Wednesday?
Thursdays, if
Stick
everybody
with
wants to take a
Thursdays.
4-day weekend, we'll fill in for them.
Okay.
Right now, they're listed as Thursday
All right,
days.
so let's eliminate the 3 out of the summertime.
yeah, we didn't get rid of, well, we have 2 in June.
Okay.
It's the 8th, the 13th, and the, what does that
8th,
say?
the 13th,
Wait a
and
minute.
The
That's
10th.
what we're getting rid of or keeping?
Those are getting removed.
July,
June 8,
June,
July
July.
13,
And August 10th.
and August 10th.
Yeah, those are being removed. And there's a motion to that effect. Finalize the calendar for next week.
And we're not conflicting with any,
Ms. Schlesman, anything? You good with Thursday? You're muted.
I'm fine with either, it doesn't make, I'll do whatever.
Okay, great. Entertain a motion to approve the schedule for 2023 as amended.
second that.
Motion made by Mr.
Second that.
Zwicker, second by Mr. Greco. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye?
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mike Swicker, aye.
Jake Schultz.
Meg Schlesman, aye.
Thank you. And we have meeting minutes,
Whoa. Yeah, we do.
8:11.
We are behind on minutes.
Well, let me catch up.
Few.
Many are done.
Yeah, I reviewed August 11th, and I found it to be okay.
Entertain a motion.
So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written for August 11.
Motion made by Mr. Greco,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Zwicker. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mitch Schlesman, aye.
August 25th?
I reviewed that too. No problems. It looks clean.
You make a motion, Mike?
So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for August 25th as written.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Greco, second by Mr. Sokrat. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mike Zwicker, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mitch Schlesman, aye.
Thank you. September 8th?
I don't have any input. I think this is the first time I've seen them, but
Mr.
September
Benoit?
8th.
Those are new.
Was it in
Okay,
last?
we'll hold those till next meeting. Anything else, Mr. Benoit? No. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to close.
Motion made by Mr. Schultzberg, second by Mr. Sokrat. All those in favor?
Aaron Sokrat, aye.
Ernie Mac's aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Jake Schultzberg, aye.
Mitch Schlesman, aye.
Thank you
Mike
very
Zwicker, aye.
much.
Matt,